All right, let's do a quick tutorial. Well, I say quick, we'll see how it works out, but a quick tutorial on how to use the FamilySearch.org catalog for church records. Now, I did this recent video, which if you haven't seen it, and yeah, probably haven't. But check it out. I went through the data for an entire year of marriages to determine just how common, at least in Karini, Sicilia, give me kind of an idea just how common child marriages were. So check that out if you haven't seen it. But I got a lot of data for that year 1813, and I was able to get baptism records and confirm, for most of them, how old they were when they were married. So let's get right to it. So to get to the catalog, this is actually the last one that I looked at. To get to the records, most of the time, if we have in Karini, Sicilia, the church records, very, very good. Very good. It's very rare that we get the chicken scratch or the bleeding through that you can see here. Most of them are pretty. Look at this. Holy crap. That's pretty nice. That's it gets better with some of the calligraphy, but that's pretty good. Now, the church records tend to be in Latin, so at least from my standpoint, it's a little easier to make out what they are talking about there. I already did a tutorial on how to use patterns instead of having to know all the Latin. It's not a lot, as you can see. There's a baptism record from, what year is this here? 1790. There's not much there to a baptism record. A bit more on a marriage record, though. But check out that other tutorial. It's really about the pattern that they use for that particular parish, and they usually kept it pretty standard. You would go to the catalog here, and you would punch in what city you are looking for, and hopefully that they have yours, and so you get a window like this. And so you can see how lucky we are here. 1556 for the oldest baptism record. They are they're pretty good. They're pretty good. I have my direct Randazzo line back based on a marriage record, because you got to have the records, to the late 1480s or 90s. So, because this is, I will say, this is atypical. This is very, very good in Palermo province and in Trapani. Man, the Sicilian records are really, really good. And the problem we have here is that they are not searchable. The church records do have an index. I want to point out where some very nice people have gone here, like Castiamarte de Golfo. Now, what they did, this is really nice of them. They broke it down because not each collection is broken down by the index. So we can't search them, but we do have an index that the church, the scribes gave us an index. Unfortunately, when you go into the record, let's pick one here. Fortunately, when we go into the records here, you don't always have an index or just at the beginning of the record, and sometimes you have an index as you get into the records here. Well, let me jump forward a little bit. As you get into the records here, you might have, depending on how many years it is, this is 1764 to 1780, 610 pages. You might have, most likely have two indexes. So it may not start with the index. You got to find the index. So that's what was so great about Castiamarte de Golfo. Whoever did this, yo. Very, very nice of them. So the index starts at each one here. You just click there and you get the index at the very beginning. That was good. That I appreciate that. But it doesn't really jam up your time too much not to have that. It helps. And it's really nice that they did that, but we don't necessarily need that. So what I suggest doing is you just open up here, you can see all the records there, and you can just scan to see. So this is your basis. If you see this is your basic record there, right? I'll blow it up a little bit so you can kind of get an idea. You can see that this is the basic record, And if we go back and we scroll down over here, you see they get this kind of list. This list is the actual index. So that's what you want to go through. Now, sometimes just in these records, the older you get, what they were doing is they set the index up, whether it's for a baptism or matrimony or morte. They did it by the first name. So we're going to have an awful lot of Salvadors over here. So you got, very rare, Susanna D'Alessandro. The newer records, they did it by the last name, which is really, really nice. So what you do is you go through here. Now, if your family is Italian or Sicilian, you're going to have a lot of repeat names. So what you got to do is you got to go through this record. It depends on how much information that you are. Typically, getting into the baptism record, you already know who the parents are. So if you go through here and you've got 15 Salvador Randazzo's, which you're going to have, if not more, you got to know the parents. So here, what they do is they give you the page number here. This is the page number, right? So Susanna Alessandro is on page 61. So what I do is I just kind of eyeball it over there. We got to go to page 61. I hope I'm picking a good legible record here. But I will kind of eyeball this. I will go to 120 so you can see there in the right corner, the left corner. This is where we change the pages. And each side you get this blue dot with the arrow. That's how you're doing the pages. So that number 61 is the page number, and it's right up here. So this is 101, so I overshot it by 40, so I am going to go back. I'm going to punch in 80. Wow. That's pretty good for doing the video. I did not edit that.
You got a gift, my friend.
So now we want to look for Susanna D'Alessandro. The next page is also going to be 61. Why they did that, I don't know. Francesca Susanna. So it'll actually be in the index twice. So you'll see a Francesca. Instead of just doing Francesca Susanna, there'll be two listings, one for Francesca, another for Susanna. Hopefully the town that you are researching, they don't do that. So this is going to give us the parents. Now, what I did in my video, what I did in this particular video here.
What is the data?
What I did in this particular video was I had to, I went by the marriage record. So I had the marriage record and then I already had the parents. So what I was looking to do was to determine what the bride's age, what the bride and groom, what their ages were when they got married. So I started with the 1813 marriage record, which had the parents' names on there. So I'll put one here. You can see this is the marriage record. So the parents are already on there. So when I dug into the record, for example, 1813, I'm averaging, I think the average age is about 24 to get married. So I was actually using the record next, which was 1780 to 1798, which is where I found the bulk, thank goodness, where I found the bulk of the of the baptism records. So the average age, 23, 24 is the average. So then I can just take this document. It's not the best one, but we can see here it has the parents, obviously. So what you're looking for is, as far as the pattern, we have the date up here. And the year isn't given, but it's over here. It'll be somewhere on the record. So over here on the other side, 1765, day 6, it's July. And the name is given here. Sometimes it's like Terracini, they don't put the name at the top on any of the records. So you have to kind of search in there. But when you know the pattern. So Infante, I mean, that's the infant, Nato, natural, this is where they were born. And then X is, that they're talking about the parents, genitori. And you can see here, it's Antonino and Elisabetta. D'Alessandro. You know, unfortunately here they're not given the mother's maiden name, which is an infamia. I don't like it. I don't like it. The later records, they give the mother's maiden name. The older records, I don't know. I don't know why the church did that. It also shows that we'll show Carini or Carino is the Latin, because these records, again, like are in Latin, so it won't say Carini, it'll say Carino for the Latin. So that is the parents' names, and then nomen imposita. I know my Latin pronunciation is worse than my Italian, but then it restates the name over here, Francesca, Susanna, and it will give the godparents, which is Francesco de Falco. De Falco, not a common Carini name. So that's how I found the baptism records, and I was able to go through and I was able to show and compile my list of data, which I'll show here. So I was able to compile those lists. So I've spoken before. Now, if I have the parents' names here, so we've got Antonino and Elisabetta D'Alessandro, I can then, if I want to find their parents, I need to find their marriage record. So if I want to find the marriage records for them, then I'm going to go about 24 years before, okay, so about 1740. So I can go about 1737 to 1797. And it really helps. Antonino, extremely common, but Elisabetta, not so much. And Susanna, so it might not be too difficult to find who their parents are. So here I can go, and I've already, right at the beginning, I don't have the index at the beginning of the record, so I have to find the index. So I'm going to click on here. I'm going to blow it up a bit. And so I'm going to scroll down here till I find the index. Usually it makes it easier because you got these that you see right here. But again, you got the list. So I can just go to Antonino D'Alessandro. So I can go at the beginning with Antonino, because they're probably going to do it by the first name. And I overshot it a bit. We'll go back. Antonino. So I'm going to go through here. I'm going to look for D'Alessandro. And when I find that, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to look here. This is going to give me and it's going to probably give me several. Well, D'Alessandro, there might not be, there might be two. So I'm going to go here. It's going to be like over here, Randazzo. So I'm going to take the page number here, and then I'll be able to find the document, and then I'll have their parents. So that's how, like I mentioned in previous videos, that's how I can keep going back further and further by going through the marriage records, and I can go back as far as the records extend. And for Carini, the marriages go 1677, but we do have some earlier than that. We do have some marriage records, 1559. So we're very lucky that way. So that's just a quick tutorial on how to use the unindexed, unsearchable catalog of church records on Family Search.
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.